What's going on, everybody? My name is Michael Weir, and it is 2023. Happy New Year's to one and all. Thank you for joining me in the brand new year to look at my most anticipated list of 2023. With that said, before we get into the list, you know I gotta say it, my list of most anticipated movies of the year list should not match your list. I mean, if it did, that's cool, but more than likely it's not going to. So when you think, oh, you forgot a movie, how did you not know Indiana Jones was coming out? Like, legitimately, I left movies off the list that I'm not most excited for, and this list is the movies I am personally most excited to go sit down in a theater and watch in 2023. Of course, the second thing I gotta say before I get into my list, and the final thing I have to say before I get into my list, is I'm excited to know what your most anticipated movies of the year are. So maybe you're a big comic book movie fan, you got a bunch of comic book movies you want to throw in the comment section. Well, let me know what those are. If you have a list of 10, put those in the comment section down below, because I'd love to know what yours are, and I love talking to you guys about movies, and that's a fun way for us to do that. Okay, without wasting any more time, let's get into my most anticipated movies of 2023. Yeah, so I was in the middle of editing this video, and that comment came through for my top 10 worst video, and I just thought, well, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna make fun of you. I thought, how? And then as I was editing, I was like, oh, this is perfect. So it was worth it to me. Alright guys, coming in at number 10 is a movie that's probably not on a lot of people's radars right now, and that is a movie called The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Now, this movie is about Count Dracula's trip from Transylvania to England. In the original movie, with Count Dracula leaving Transylvania, going to England, it's like a scene. You see people on the ship, you see Dracula's eyes start to light up, and then when it gets there, everybody on the ship is dead. And they just kind of gloss over that, saying like, it's horrifying, especially for its time, but they never really explored what happened on that ship. And this movie stars Viggo Mortensen and Jude Law, and it's about Dracula on the Demeter, and the whole movie is about that chapter of the Dracula story. And I'm so excited for that, because I feel like in the past, movies have gone over different aspects of Dracula's life, both present, future. We've seen a lot of Dracula, but we've never really seen a story shaped around this ship. Not that I know of. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one. So this is exciting for me, and it like immediately was like, okay, I can't make it like my top 5, but it's a movie I want to sit down and watch in the theater. So The Last Voyage of the Demeter, number 10. At number 9, guys, we have directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Brendan Fraser on his comeback tour, and that is Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, Killers of the Flower Moon is about the Indian Osage Nation, people of that tribe being murdered for the oil-wealthy land, and I'm excited about it. It's set in the 1920s. I don't really know anything more than that. I'll be honest with you, if you say Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm in no matter what. It's gonna make my top anticipated movies list. So here we go, Killers of the Flower Moon, number 9. At number 8, guys, we have Renfield. Renfield is another Dracula story, and 2 on 1 list. And I'm not even the biggest Dracula fan, but Dracula in this movie is played by none other than Nicolas Cage. Of course, I am going to put this on my most anticipated list. It's Nicolas Cage playing Count Dracula. I don't care. It's going to be awesome to see. The movie may not be great, I understand that, but I want to sit down at the theater and just enjoy Nicolas Cage playing Dracula. That's my best Nicolas Cage. Let's move on. At number 7, guys, we have horror movie Shelby Oaks. Now, Shelby Oaks is a movie I'm really excited about for a couple of reasons. First of all, I gave a little money to this project. It's a crowd-funded horror movie. It's been written and directed by Chris Stuckman. Chris Stuckman is a YouTube movie critic who turned movie director, and that's so exciting for him. I've watched him since the days where he was in his parents' house, in his bedroom, doing movie reviews, and now he's directing a movie. That's inspirational, and that's really what I can say about Chris Stuckman. Guys like him, guys like Jeremy Jahns, guys like John Flickinger, like, they are inspirational for me. I watch their movie reviews because I genuinely love their movie review takes, but at the same time, when I watch them, I try to learn from them. And Chris Stuckman is just one of those people where if you watch what he does, you actually see what he does with his movie reviews, I feel like you can learn a lot from him. So now getting to see him create and direct his own movie with real movie stars, it's just, I know it's a dream come true for him, and I absolutely can't wait to see this. So Shelby Oaks is my number 7 most anticipated movie of 2023. At number 6, guys, we have M. Night Shyamalan, who has been hit, and then like a lot of misses, and then hit and miss recently, and that is Knock at the Cabin Door. This preview looks intense. You've got a family who's at a cabin, and then there's a knock at the door, and these people come in, led by Dave Bautista, and they say, we're here to sacrifice your family to prevent the end of the world. There's something exciting about that. I don't know. It's M. Night Shyamalan. There's going to be a twist, hopefully. Glass was very disappointing. Old was very disappointing. But The Visit was really good, and Split was really good. So maybe he's back to form. Knock at the Cabin Door. We'll see. That's my number 6. So now, guys, we've made it to the top 5 movies of my most anticipated list. And at number 5, of course, it's got to be Barbie. Just kidding, it's not Barbie. But it does come out the same weekend, and it is Oppenheimer. That is the movie about the creation of the atomic bomb, directed by one of the greatest directors of all time, Christopher Nolan, and it stars Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr. and like a bunch of other really big names. I'm really excited for Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, I'm not really sure how to say that, and I didn't look it up beforehand. I'm going to go Oppenheimer. That's just what I'm going to say at this point. It's the creation of the atomic bomb. It's at number 5. Let's move on. At number 4, guys, we get the 6th movie in a horror franchise. It's my favorite horror franchise of all time, and that is Scream 6. But this time, instead of the town of Woodsboro, we are going to New York City. And the tagline for this movie is New York, New Rules. That's exciting. I mean, just the trailer alone where they're all on the subway in New York and you see all these people on Halloween night and you see a bunch of Scream masks, but one of the Scream masks is tilted and looking at them, and then it gets closer and closer and closer until one of them gets stabbed. That is such a cool concept. I like the idea that they took it out of its normal environment. They brought it to the big city. It's exciting to see. I'm excited for it, obviously. So number 4 on my list, Scream 6. At number 3, guys, Creed 3. Now, I know what you're thinking. Was that a coincidence? Yes, it was. I didn't intentionally make Creed 3 number 3. It's something I would do, but it's not something I did on purpose. Michael B. Jordan is in this movie as Adonis Creed, but he's also directing for the first time. It's his directorial debut, and we also get Jonathan Majors as the villain, and I really like Jonathan Majors. He's Kane the Conqueror now, and that's exciting, but also, like, he was in a movie called The Harder They Fall last year, the year before that, and it was a cowboy movie, and it was really good. I think he's a great up-and-coming actor, and so I'm excited to see him in Creed 3 versus Adonis Creed. Creed 2 was my favorite movie back in 2017. It was my movie of the year, so I'm excited to see what they do with Creed 3, if it can live up to what Creed 2 was for me, and let's see if it gets to my best of in 2023. That would be very exciting. So Creed 3, number 3. All right, guys, we're in the top 2, the last 2 movies for my most anticipated movies of 2023 list, and the first one of those 2 movies, at number 2, is John Wick Chapter 4. You knew it had to be on this list. It's the greatest running action franchise today. John Wick is a badass. He kills so many people that deserve to die for killing his dog back in part 1. The chain of events around that is just interesting in and of itself. Like, a dog died, and now we have 4 movies of so many people dying as a repercussion. I mean, granted, things have happened to get there, but I'm excited to see where this goes. It looks like John is taking on the high table in this movie. I originally heard that this was going to be John Wick Part 4 and 5 were going to film, and they were like, you know what? Let's combine those 2 ideas to make John Wick Chapter 4 the coolest thing ever, and I'm excited for it. John Wick Chapter 4 comes out in March. Wish it came out tomorrow. And now, guys, we've made it to my number 1 most anticipated movie of 2023. What is it? What superhero movie am I thinking of? Well, you're wrong. It's not a superhero movie. It's Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1. That's right. It's a part one. Like, we know going into this, we're going to get half a story. Mission Impossible 7. Mission Impossible is one of the greatest action franchises. Like, I just talked about an action franchise running today, but Mission Impossible is one of those timeless action franchises dating way back to when Tom Cruise looked like a baby still, and now he just looks like an older baby because he's Tom Cruise, and we all love him. Tom Cruise is one of my favorite actors of all time, and just what we've seen from the stunts of this movie, from the previews for this movie, I can't wait for Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1, and I know it's going to leave me at the edge of my seat, and at the end of the movie, I'm just going to want Part 2, so bring on Mission Impossible. I can't wait for it. That is my number one most anticipated movies of 2023. I hope you enjoyed this list, guys. If you notice I didn't have any superhero movies on this list, it's because I've just been disappointed lately. I really have. Nothing coming out from Marvel or DC next year really makes me excited, and I'll explain. On the DC side of things, you've got James Gunn coming in and shaking things up, which is fine. I'm sure he's got a great vision for it, but it just makes me not hyped for anything they currently have in the works, whether it's Aquaman or The Flash or just anything DC's got going on, even Blue Beetle. Like, I don't care because I don't think any of that's going to matter. Just like Black Adam just didn't matter. I feel burned for going and seeing that on opening day and getting excited about Henry Cavill and just to find out 2 months later that, yeah, by the way, none of that matters anymore. Like, that's annoying. Like, the Batman was great because it stood alone, and they're going to keep going with that universe, and I'm excited about that when it comes out eventually. But for now, that's not happening. Next year, it's just all DCEU stuff, and the DCEU is dead. They've already said that. So I'll go see those movies. I'll review those movies. I'm not really that excited about them. Now, on the Marvel side of things, Marvel was just kind of lackluster this year. Yes, I gave positive reviews to both Doctor Strange and to Thor: Love and Thunder, but ultimately this year I was just kind of let down. They didn't live up to what they should have lived up to, and maybe my expectations for Marvel are here because Endgame was so great. But you can't go from Endgame to every movie being a step down, except for Spider-Man: No Way Home. That's still a great movie, but everything else has just been Phase 4. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we're moving on, but I'm just not excited. I'm just not excited about Marvel next year. I will go see those movies too. I will review those movies too. I will let you guys know what I think. But this past year, I had a bunch of DC and Marvel movies on my list, on my slate, excited about them. And I just, at the end of the year, when I was looking at my favorite movies that I saw, I was like, man, the Batman. Everything else didn't even make the cut. So that's why there's no superhero movies on my list. I know I'm wearing a Flash shirt. I understand that, like, hey, you know, a lot of people on my channel that follow me like the content I put out for my Marvel reviews or my DC reviews, and that's great. I will review those next year. They're just not on my most anticipated. That's my entire list, guys. I hope you enjoyed this list of most anticipated movies for 2023. Like I said earlier, if you've got a list, if you've got ones you're excited about, put those down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you can see reviews for all these movies in the future. Here's to 2023. Oh, and one more time. Okay, I'm out of here. Last thing I want to say before this video is officially over is just in case a Sleepy Hollow movie from Paramount does come out this year, that's on my most anticipated list as well. In fact, you could put it at number 1. But I don't know if it's actually coming out because last year in June, Paramount announced they were doing a Sleepy Hollow movie, but they didn't say if it's going to be a sequel to the original Sleepy Hollow. In fact, it sounds like it's going to be a reboot completely. They got Lindsay Bear on the project to write and direct the movie. Excited to see what she can do with it. But then last October, Tim Burton was like, I'd like to make a sequel. And then you kind of wonder, okay, is he going to Paramount saying that, or is he just saying that? And if he did say that to Paramount, listen, are they thinking, Johnny Depp, he's vindicated. We bring him back for sequel, big money. I'd like to see a sequel to Sleepy Hollow, but I'd also like to see a reboot of Sleepy Hollow. So I don't know. But if that's coming out, if it does, consider it on this list. But they haven't officially announced for 23 yet, so I don't know. Sleepy Hollow. I hope it's there. I really need it. We'll see.